Verse 12 says, but many of the older priests, Levites, and other leaders who had seen the first temple wept aloud when they saw the new temple's foundation. The others, however, were shouting with joy. You had the old regime, the old heads that were around that saw the old temple. We'll see this in Haggai. Remember the prophet Haggai said, who was around that saw the former temple? And now you look at the new temple, it's not even to be compared. There were some folk that were excited because they poured the foundation. Then there were some older people that wasn't so excited. There were some people that were so, here it is, and this is where some of us are. There were so many people that were so attached to the good old days. They could not experience what God was doing fresh because they was holding on to what God had did. Let me tell you, look, the good old days, what's the good old days syndrome? It is a tendency to look back on the past with a sense of longing and affection. There's about 2 people watching me online on Twitter, because them Twitter folk get a little suspicious, but about 2 people on Twitter, they're still longing over what your high school days. When you went to the prom, a grad bash, and what y'all did on the bus. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. There's about 2 people on Twitter that's still worried about back there, still worried about what happened. But don't look at the Twitter folk like that in that tone of voice, because there's some of us that's longing to get back, all while forgetting about the reality of what went on. In other words, people always talk about what was and what happened and how better it was then, but then we oftentimes don't look at situations truthfully and don't examine it truthfully and say everything wasn't good about the good old days. Let me get out of here. And I love what this brother says. Marcel Proust, look what he says. Remembrance of things past is not necessarily remembrance of things as they were. We can remember, we talk about how it was back in the old church, boy. We was holy back in the old church. The old church, boy, was holiness as hell. People were still getting pregnant. Come on here. People were still committing adultery. Come on, they were still liars and still cheating. Come on, talk about the old church, all that, this old new age church. Come on, it was stuff going on back then. Come on, we just didn't have social media. We just didn't know all about this stuff. But can I tell you, it was always going on. So my point is, don't get so hung up in what God did. That's what Pastor's trying to say today. Don't get hung up in pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, pre-marriage. Come on, pre-divorce. Come on, pre-foreclosure. Come on, whatever your pre is. Don't get so hung up in what your pre was. And you got to get hung up in what God is doing now. Darius, I want to know, is someone's life on standstill? Your spirituality I'm talking about. I'm about the same spiritually as I was last year. No, if you're not moving forward, then you're going backwards. There's no neutral in the kingdom of God. It's at a is your life at a standstill? You don't feel yourself growing. You don't feel yourself advancing. You don't feel, come on, we talking about the kingdom of God. Come on, we can talk about all this other stuff all day, every day. You listen to that, watch that all the time. Now get the word of the Lord, and let's talk about your spiritual maturity and your spiritual growth, your spiritual development. Are you about the same as you always been? Or is there some growth? Is there some development? Here, there's some things I got to do. I must interrupt my tendency to stew on my negative memories. Come on, I'm talking about the people that are always holding on to the back. I got to interrupt my tendency. I'm not going to stew on them old bad memories. I'm not going to keep on thinking about that all day, every day. But no, I'm going to bring my thoughts into the obedience of Christ and cast down wicked imagination. I'm going to choose to forget. I'm talking about me. I'm going to choose to forget some of that mess. I'm not going to keep bringing on who hurt me, who backbited me, who backstabbed me. I'm going to choose to forget. I must replace painful memories with positive ones. Oh, everything have been horrible this year. It's been people getting married this year. It's been people getting paid this year. It's been people buying houses and cars this year. Come on, everything hadn't been so bad this year. God is still doing something fresh and new. I must gain control over the painful memories. I'm not going to let them control me, but I'm going to control them. On behalf of everyone here at Truth and Love Ministries, we want to thank you for being a part of our online worship experience. Thank you for your participation through your likes, your shares, and your comments. But we also want you to participate when it comes down to helping us continue to push this gospel message forward. You can do so by downloading our app, and you can give there in a safe and secure way. You can go to our website at truthandlove.tv and you can give, or you can text the word TILJAX to the number 77977. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. See you next time.